Intersection Magazine Podcast.
Welcome to Intersection Magazine Podcast. My guest today is Charles Batambuze. I found out about Charles Batambuze's work in intellectual property and copyright law and in the ecosystem in Uganda about maybe 6-7 years ago from a lecturer that was teaching us at Makerere. He mentioned Charles Batambuze, and ever since I've been trying to follow his work. So I think it would be a good opportunity to find out a little bit more about what he's doing, his contribution to copyright law in Uganda, especially for writers and creatives. So I hope you will enjoy this episode as we continue to work towards creating a sense of awareness and appreciating those who are part of the creative industry. Now, incidentally, for location of choice, we are at the National Theatre, where you can also find NCF offices, as well as URRO, where he's executive director. But I'll let Charles talk to you a little bit more about that. Thank you for listening, and thank you for subscribing. So, Charles, thank you for agreeing to be part of this podcast at such short notice. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Charles Batambuze?
Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. And I'm really thrilled and humbled that you've been following my work. You know, it is one thing to be working so hard, and it's another for some of the people that the community where you work to be following you and getting interested in what you do. My name is Charles Batambuze. I'm the executive director of the Uganda Reproduction Rights Organization, which is a collecting society for writers of literary works and publishers of the same. We, as an organization, we are registered under the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Act 2006. Our work is to enforce copyright, to collect royalties and to distribute royalties, to work on reciprocal agreements, reciprocal protection for writers, both within our market, but also abroad, protecting Ugandan writers in other markets whose works get into those markets. I'm also the vice chairman of the National Culture Forum, which is the umbrella body for all associations and federations within the culture and creative industries in Uganda. Under that umbrella, we represent almost 386,000 people that work full-time in the creative industry. So briefly, that's what I do. And in many other spaces, I'm also doing different things. So, yeah, just...
Okay.
Yeah.
I recently noticed on the news that you were celebrating Intellectual Property Day. What normally happens on this day, and you led those efforts?
Yeah, every year on April 23rd, we have what we call the UNESCO World Book and Copyright Day. That day was designated by the member states of UNESCO to be World Book and Copyright Day. For it is also the day on which some important writers, like Shakespeare and others, either they were born on April 23rd or they died on April. So it's a unique day that was uniquely selected to celebrate writers, to celebrate literature, the influence of books on culture and human civilization. But also, it's on the day when we reflect on how important copyright is to writers, and what steps we need to take to ensure that copyright benefits those that create. How do we deal with issues of piracy how do we deal with the issues of contracts between writers and publishers, or contracts and licenses that writers give out to people that want to exploit their works. So that is the whole purpose of that day.
Okay.
And last year, when we celebrated the day, we had a partnership with a TV. It's called Rest TV. So for an entire week, we were hosting writers.
Okay.
For them to speak about their works, to speak about what inspires them to write, to speak about how their work helps people within Uganda that read those works. And apart from that, we also had a major event. We had a partnership with the National Library of Uganda. They brought us books that were actually donated to schools. Because, when you say people should love literature and so on, you make it available to them, especially children, so that they can read and get the joy of, reading a good book.
Okay. Incidentally, I noticed from the URRO page that there's a special protective feature that you put on printed books. Tell us a little bit more about that for their protection.
Book piracy is a very big issue within Uganda. Many people write books, but they don't earn money from what they have created. Because some people, especially here in Kampala, Nasa Road, will reproduce these books and sell them through the same channels.
Okay.
Some of the books are sold through bookshops. Some of them are sold directly to schools. So piracy is really reproducing a book and selling it without authorization. So it's a form of copyright infringement. And it affects the entire value chain because, as you know, the book chain, but equally the other creative industries, as far as copyright is concerned, thrive on the revenue splits. When a publisher has done a book, he has a split maybe of 30%, the author has 20%, but there are other people that have contributed to the work. So what piracy does is to remove all that money from the entire value chain that was responsible for creating the work. So it has been a huge challenge, and we started fighting piracy in 2016.
Okay.
As an organization, URRO, or Uganda Reproduction Rights Organization, we have people employed as copyright inspectors. Their powers are inbuilt within the copyright law. They can enter a premise, they can seize, confiscate materials and actual equipment that is being used to infringe copyright. The entrance is on the basis of reasonable suspicion. Where there is reasonable suspicion, they can enter a premise. Apart from that, the other big challenge was, how can the public know that this book is genuine and this one is not genuine? So we had a discussion within the industry on how to authenticate books. That's how we introduced what we call a hologram. A hologram is a sticker that is placed on authentic books. Holograms, we sell them to publishers of books, we sell them to writers, and we sell them to agents, because some of the writers and publishers are represented by agents. And the idea is they put these stickers on the books to help the market know that when I've bought this book that has a sticker, the money will feed the entire value chain. But also, in terms of enforcement, we work with police. We have a unit at the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, a police unit specifically for IP enforcement. But also work with the territorial police when we go out in the country. And it is difficult for an ordinary police officer to know that this book is not authentic and this one is authentic. So because we introduced the hologram, when we go to a bookshop, for example, in Imbarara, we will confiscate all books without the hologram, because the basis for that is that we would think that those books infringe copyright. That's why they don't have the hologram. So that's how the system is working. It's a very interesting system that helps to cut the rates of piracy. Some people have asked me, but can the hologram be counterfeited or pirated? And the thing is, it can't. Or if one were to counterfeit it, they would have to spend a lot of money to reproduce what we are providing on for Uganda. So that's how we are trying to contribute to the fight against piracy.
Okay. Now I'm wondering, because many of the solutions seem to be for physical books. How does the landscape look for in terms of digital copies?
Let me give an experience of what happened when government rolled out the new curriculum for lower secondary school. Publishers were hired to write books for S1, S2, S3, and S4. As soon as these books got into the schools, because of the age, everybody has a smartphone or a device. So what the teachers were doing was to scan these entire books and actually turn them into digital.
Okay.
Then these books circulated on the different WhatsApp groups for teachers around the country and so on. So a complaint was raised, and URRO works on the basis of complaints from the owners of the copyright. So even for physical books, people report to us cases of infringement. Same for digital copyright infringement. So we got a lot of complaints from our members, the publishers and writers. So these people are sharing full copies of my book on their WhatsApp groups. And in some cases, actually some schools, what they did, they would put all the books together for the new curriculum. For instance, S1, so they will have received physics, chemistry, biology, math. So the sciences, one big volume. Then the arts, another big volume. And so actually, they would download from their WhatsApp groups and print.
Oh, wow.
And then force the parents to buy the big volumes. So we took up issue. We decided to handle this issue. And working with the URSB, because the URSB supports us quite a lot. They have the prosecutors, they have the police, they have the people that support us to interpret law and so on. And we called some of the teachers that were responsible for this infringement. One, to sensitize them that what they were doing was wrong, so that, we can deter them from, having to do this all the time. We haven't taken anyone to court over, WhatsApp infringements. But in future, we hope to do so. Initially, we are building awareness around the issue that, books have copyright and they are protected. And you need permission to be able to digitize them. Because if they have come to you in analog format, physical format, you cannot just digitize without permission. That's another right from which the author is supposed to earn. Now, there are also books that fly around. As we know, there are websites internationally that make copyright protected books easily freely accessible to anyone that is on the networks. Again, that's another huge challenge. Recently, we have started work with the URSB on how we can engage the platforms, but also work with the UCC, because as you know, if you identify a copyright infringing website, for example, you can raise a complaint with UCC and they will block it. Then the other measure has been that our law, in a way, has been weak when it comes to the digital environment. So, and recently, in 2022, I think, as a country, we ratified 2 treaties. They call them Internet treaties, WIPO Internet treaties.
Okay.
One of them is the World Copyright Treaty, WIPO Copyright Treaty. Then the other one is the Beijing Treaty on Phonograms or something like that. So those 2 treaties have specific provisions that are needed to empower national laws so that they work better. So as part of the process for amending the Copyright Act, actually, one of the things is we want, and it is a process for instance, getting takedowns. When you see your work on a website and you do not authorize that website to carry that work, it should be possible for you to write to the service provider and say, block or take down my work from your website. The current process is tedious. You need to go to court to get a court order in order for you to get a takedown. We have said simplify because, as you know, and this applies across the entire creative industry, not many people are so knowledgeable about these issues. People don't have money to hire lawyers and so on. So we want the process simplified, and we have asked that the registrar of copyright be given powers to order takedowns. At least the register of copyright is more accessible compared to courts, because the courts are at another level, a higher level in a way. So we hope that when some of these things get passed within the law, the process will be much quicker. Also, we have asked for criminalizing the circumvention of technological protection measures. These are things like passwords and some things that people put on their works to protect them from unlawful access. As you know, people hack into systems, then they bypass the protections. So in Uganda, it's not criminal at the moment to bypass one. Yes. Maybe it might be in there is that computer misuse thing. I need to check, but
some loopholes.
Yes. So we want all those loopholes bridged so that the law can work well, but also educating now the rights holders, because as you know, not many of our people are operating within the digital environment in the actual sense of it. We are transitioning actually, and the process of transitioning requires that, one, we acquire the requisite digital skills for us to be able to navigate the digital environment. Two, we have an understanding of how the law applies within the digital environment. And finally, for us to be able to monetize within the digital environment, because the dynamics are quite different. Yes.
I notice your focus is on writers and publishers. How does the landscape look like for example, there's the musicians, the software developers, and the hardware developers? Are you aware, because you've done a lot of work to protect writers and creatives within that space? Is there another organization that caters for this, or is there a hope that the reproductive association rights association group will expand to have branches that cater for maybe software, hardware, and then musicians?
Let me begin from the law. The law provides for collecting societies. So URRO is a collecting society, and the law specifies the functions, membership, how it is regulated, and all those other things. The law also says that for each category of works and bundle of rights, one society is registered. So in effect, it creates monopoly power. So it means for literary works, it is URRO, and no other society can be registered. Currently, there are 3 collecting societies that have been registered by URSP. URRO is one of them for literary works. Then there is one that is called Uganda Performing Rights Society, UPRS, which is for musical works. But then the Uganda Federation of Movie Industry for audiovisual works. Yeah, there are plans to register, I think, about 2 more societies. One for drama, theatrical works, and so on. Then another one for visual art. As you know, for visual art, in the law, they have the right of resale. When your work, for instance, if it is bought and is taken to the UK, London. So if that work is sold, disposed of by the person who bought it from Uganda, and maybe sold to another entity. As an artist in Uganda, you're supposed to earn something from. So it's a resale. So CMO, collecting society for the visual works, would follow up such income and track it. So that's how the system works. Collecting societies work on the basis of the law. So the law empowers them. They also work on the basis of mandates from members. So they are membership driven. You must be a member. You have to sign up to become a member of either of them. To be a member, you must be a copyright owner within that category of works and band of rights. And then we also operate on the basis of reciprocal agreements. So we sign agreements with similar societies from other countries. So that the whole idea behind reciprocation is protection. We protect writers from Kenya the same way we protect Ugandans. Equally, when we have an agreement with Kenya, Kenya protects Ugandan works within their market the same way they protect their. So that is called the principle of national treatment. Yes.
That's very interesting. I was having a conversation with someone in the hardware space, and there's a lot of promise in terms of the development. Although, of course, there are not too many players, but what I probably will end up suggesting is, because they are thinking about setting up a think tank, I'll talk to them about maybe having some communication with this, so that you can advise them about what it takes to set up an independent group to cater for software and hardware developers.
Now, for software, by the way, I think even in our legislation, so software is a literary work.
Okay.
Yes. A software is a literary work. The coding and whatever is considered to be a literary work. So in terms of protection and reciprocation and so on, ideally those guys need to be members of URRO.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll make that suggestion. Okay. Thank you very much. Perhaps in finalizing, tell us a little bit more about this Copyright Amendment Bill of 2024 and what you hope it's going to achieve for those affected.
Yeah, during the time of COVID, there was a problem of musicians going to Gulu to interface with General Saleh so that they could get help. The reason that challenge arose was because the music industry was built on one business model, so one revenue stream, which was public performances or concerts for that matter. So during COVID, all of a sudden, government closed concerts and public meetings were not allowed and so on. So the musicians were hit so hard. So while we were in Gulu, many questions were asked. One of them was, why are musicians crying? They were crying because they did not have money. Their way of making money, government had withheld. So it was understood that we needed to strengthen the law and actually bring in new provisions that enable artists to earn money from their works to provisions that would strengthen the collecting societies so that they can collect money for artists and writers. So the copyright amendment process started around that time. And we supported the Uganda Comedians Association, TUCA, led by Annington Bujingo, wrote a paper that they went and read to the president. Part of the paper was saying, we need the law amended. And in the amendments, there was a proposal for what is called a copyright levy, private copy levy. The way we consume content has changed. Nowadays, we don't go to particular shops to buy content. We receive it on our phones and other gadgets. Unfortunately, this content circulates around the country without benefit to the creators. So the system that is internationally available for ensuring that creators earn from this massive copying of their works and gadgets is called private copy remuneration, or private copy levy. The levy is imposed on gadgets and is collected at the point of import customs, or if it is manufactured within the country at the factory. So each gadget pays the levy once in its entire lifetime. So that money is collected and it is sent to the collecting societies. So the collecting societies distribute it as royalties to the different rights holders, writers, musicians, and so on. We have estimated that if Uganda imposed the levy, we could collect as much as 78 billion Uganda shillings, which would be some money. The second issue about the amendment was artists, especially musicians, had signed unfair contracts with telecom companies for collaring back tunes or collar tunes. Those contracts are so unfair that the artist earns peanuts. For instance, if a collar tune is 700 shillings, the artist takes home 12 shillings. After investing so much in promoting the song and, because there's no song that is a collar tune and succeeds in getting money if it has not been promoted by the artist. So our advocacy has been to the effect that let the revenue share be controlled by law, because artists are too weak negotiate with the serious telecoms. And what the telecoms did, they introduced a broker there in between. It's called the content aggregator. So the artist does not deal directly with the telecom. You deal with the aggregator. And the percentage that... So most of the money, almost 80%, is lost to the telecom. And the 20% is what the artist shares with the aggregator. And the aggregator dictates. So we say the artist is too weak to negotiate. Let the law protect. And we proposed that the revenue share in favor of artists should be 60%. Then the rest of the people fall within the 40%. There are some songs whose collar tunes have made as much as 1 billion. 800 million, 200 million. But the artist maybe got 18 million. You can see that the system was so unfair. So that's something that we included in the proposals for the amendment. Now the bill, government circulated it in, I think, November last year, the draft bill, for comment from select, government departments and agencies. We were also invited to read, and were disappointed because the proposals that we think will uplift the creative industry had been omitted. So again, we made written submissions to that effect to the Ministry of Justice. We recently heard that Cabinet discussed the bill. We don't know what is in it. And soon the minister will be publishing it in the Gazette. Then we'll have access to it, so that we can make further input and also be able to interface with Parliament to ensure that the right provisions are in there, so that artists and writers can earn from their works. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for those insights. Once again, just kind of let us know how people can get in touch with you, where URRO is located, your social media, your LinkedIn, all those kinds of things. And of course, an invitation to software developers. You've heard that you are needed. You can benefit from his organization as well.
Yeah, the organization, Uganda Reproduction Rights Organization, we have a website, URRO.ug. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, and some of the social media platforms around. Our offices are room 10, second floor, National Theatre. So you are welcome to have interaction. One of our roles as a collecting society is to talk to people about copyright, contracts, licenses they want to give out, and so on. Feel free to come and consult us, and we give free consultation to creators.
Well, thank you very much, Charles, for taking your precious time to talk to us. We wish you success in every endeavor that you're taking on, and of course with the bill that's going to be worked on. Thank you. Thank you.
Intersection Magazine Podcast.